Welcome back, Commanders. My name is Alchrist, and today I'll be briefing you on your brand new T-Doll, the Not a Bunny, Krolik. Krolik is a sword-wielding, field-dashing fire T-Doll. She is capable of applying overburn to several targets at once, making her ideal in burn teams, as well as being able to hop through obstacles to get to locations much faster than any other T-Doll, although it might put her in hairy situations. I will mention that in all my guides, I'll be referring to Confected's index as skill points, since this is much easier to understand. Krolik's skill point generation mechanic is tied to both of her active skills, starting with active skill 1, Crushing Revolution, which costs no skill points and doesn't have any cooldown. She selects one target in an adjacent tile and will do AoE physical damage equals 120% of her attack to a 3x3 area with a target in the middle center, reducing their stability by 1 to all targets hit. She will then gain 1 skill point. And if there are no allies within 3 tiles of Krolik after using this attack, she will be able to move 5 additional tiles. Krolik's active skill 2 is Quenching Slash, which has a 3-turn cooldown. She attacks an enemy in an adjacent tile, she will apply overburn to them for 2 turns, and then deals burn damage equal to 150% of her attack and reduces 2 stability. She then gains 2 skill points. Directly after the attack ends, she will teleport back to the original position before the action. Krolik's basic attack is Instantaneous Slash. She attacks an enemy in an adjacent tile and deals physical damage equal to 80% of her attack and reducing 1 stability. Krolik's ultimate is Slaughter Sequence, which costs 4 skill points. She selects one direction to dash in from her location and will move up to 7 tiles. She will stop at the furthest viable empty tile in that direction. She will deal burn damage equal to 130% of her attack to the first enemy in that selected direction. This attack will do damage regardless if she makes it to the other side, as long as they were in the 7 tile range. This dash will go through all obstacles and gaps and is not affected by elevation. If the target has overburn, she ignores any cover bonuses and gains the ability to move 5 tiles after landing. Krolik's passive is Embers. She will deal 15% more damage to any target with overburn, and at the end of her action, she will apply overburn to the closest 2 enemies within 5 tiles for 2 turns. When deploying Krolik onto the field, the key element to playing her is using hit and run tactics. She is very squishy, but all of her skills have a movement criteria you should aim for so that she can attack and move back into safety. She's better off being a lone wolf somewhere and applying overburn to targets for a team to utilize. When it comes to a basic rotation, she doesn't really have one. Instead, use a kit based on the situation she is in. Use active skill 1 as a default action. Since it doesn't require any skill points or a cooldown, it is completely spammable. Try and make sure she is away from other T-Dolls so she gets the extra movement to get back into safety. Use active skill 2 when she is in a good position to return. It is the highest DPS action, so try to use it on cooldown. Use ultimate to get to faraway targets or to traverse obstacles. Clever use of her ultimate will get to locations that aren't usually accessible. If you're using this to push into enemy territory, try to apply overburn to them first so that she can get the extra movement to get back into safety. She should never use basic attack. On to her pros and cons. She has really strong synergies. Her base kit synergizes really well with burn teams and AoE teams. She can even apply overburn to multiple enemies at once. And she has high mobility. 9 base movement allows her to get in, with another 5 to get out. Her ultimate's ability to dash across anything can be abused on some maps. As for her cons, she has terrible stability damage. On average, she will only do 1 to 2 stability damage, and her ultimate doesn't reduce any stability, not to mention that enemies that are weak to melee are very uncommon. She is very squishy, one wrong misposition and it will cost her her life. And finally, she is a melee doll. She has 0 range attacks aside from the pseudo ult, and will have turns where she just skips because she is not in reach of any targets. An auto battle is terrible with melee dolls. Krolik's best weapon is the Battle Pass, the Crown Jackalope. Its trait allows Krolik to take another turn every 3rd kill. Its effect, Direct Confrontation, increases damage to enemies with either full HP or lower HP than Krolik. If the target has no cover, she will reduce their stability by 2 before the attack. Her second option is Ulrid's Rectrix. It has crit rate, and its trait restores skill points after using an attack. Sovereign Presence will deal fixed damage equal to 10% of Krolik's attack if they're not at full HP, but offers crit damage instead if they're at lower HP than her. If you don't have either one of these, you can use the namesake, the Hare. It has the same extra action trait as the Crown Jackalope, and Prairie Hunter increases attack damage based on how many tiles Krolik has moved. Her attachments are for the DPS archetype, focusing first on attack percent, attack, crit rate, and then crit damage. A reminder that the only attachment that can have crit damage is the muzzle. When it comes to which attachment sets to farm, use the Phase Strike set. It increases damage by 15% as long as I have an elemental debuff, which you can easily apply Overburn. When it comes to affixed keys, the best ones to obtain is 203 Fierce Predator. When using an active skill 1, if it hits only one target, they will receive an extra 30% damage. 401 Blazing Fury, when there are no allies within 3 tiles, she will deal an extra 10% damage. And 601 Instinctive Pursuit. At the start of the turn, if there are any enemies afflicted with Overburn, she will gain Blazing Assault for 2 turns. This is a burn buff that will increase her attack by 15%. Her other 3 fixed keys are usable if you prefer their effects. 201 Momentary Focus reduces her ult skill point requirement to 3, allowing more frequent use and usable on turn 1. 403 Proud Challenger reduces her active skill 2's cooldown by 2 if it kills a target. And 603, if she moves more than 3 tiles before attacking, she gets a bonus 10% crit. Her common key is Art of Violence. It gives crit rate, and if she has any burn buffs, she becomes immune to freeze debuffs and increases damage by 5%. Other common keys she can steal is Diane Shattering Stone and Silk. At the start of every second turn, she gets movement up 1. Vepli's Heart Melting Strike increases damage to enemies that has less mobility than her. Otherwise, any common keys that increase attack or crit values would work. Next, we'll have a quick look at the Fortifications. At V1, her active skill 1 will ignore 30% of the target's defense if their stability broken. At V2, her active skill 2 will have a 160% attack multiplier. At V3, if her ult kills a target, 2 skill points will be regained. At V4, the range of her passive's Overburn hitting targets is increased from 5 to 7. At V5, if the target she hits with the ult has Overburn, it is a guaranteed crit. And at V6, when she attacks any target with Overburn, she deals 20% more crit damage. To finish off, we'll have a quick look at suitable teammates to field along Krolik. Her best pairing is Sharkry. Applying Overburn to multiple targets allows Sharkry to trigger action supports. Applying Overburn also helps trigger Centresi's bonus effects. Groza can be helpful to buff Krolik defensively to prevent getting one-shot, as well as drawing in aggro. Otherwise, Krolik works best as a flex spot in burn teams. Here are some examples of team compositions. And that about wraps up this character briefing for Krolik. I hope this guide helps, and if you have any other suggestions on how to build her teammates, make sure to leave a comment below. Until next time, Commanders.